So now we're moving on to N. N is what? Now we're going to read the entire passage carefully, stopping at each stop dot to write down important information that we got just from the passage.
Can we write it down on a piece of paper?
What, baby?
No,
you're going to actually write it on the book. You're going to actually write it on the passage. To the side. Just write a little bit to the side here.
Oh.
Yeah, because when you have your EOG booklet, you're going to have a lot of space. But this one doesn't really have a lot of space. We're just going to kind of write it to the side. And I kind of got... So, the integrate test, yes. All right, so now we're going to use this to read. I think it's being crappy today. All right, so again, the title is Yes, I Can. We all face challenges in life. Students must study and work hard to do well in school. Athletes must practice every day to win. Students and athletes know that a yes, I can attitude helps achieve goals. When a person is blind, challenges become more difficult. Can a blind person play golf? Can a person who is blind be president of a company? One man answered, yes, I can, to these questions. This man is Charles Boswell. Charles Boswell was born in Birmingham, Alabama on December 22, 1916. As a child, he loved to play sports. He became a star football and baseball player in high school and in college. Boswell was drafted to play professional baseball, but was unable to follow this dream because he joined the Army to fight for his country. All right, so we stop at our first stop dot. So what's something important in this text? Come on, he sit up, baby. What's something important in this text, Chris?
He fought for our country.
All right, he fought for our country. Okay, what else is important? He fought for our country. What else? Charles?
He became a football star and basketball star in college and high school.
All right, so he played sports in college and high school. What else? What else? Go ahead. He believed in himself.
Can you zoom in? I'm sorry, I can't see.
Yes, hold on. Well, I'm writing small too. Yes, I'll zoom in just a second.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I got two different cameras going at one time. I'm sorry, I did it again, didn't I? Let me move this one. We got all that important information just from that first chunk, or that first section. Is that going to be the answer to one of the questions? Maybe. But at least we know if we read a question about him playing sports in college and high school, we're going to know which chunk to go to. Yeah, I can close it. All right, the next chunk. So now we've written that, we're going to go to the next dot, and we're going to start there. Boswell, an officer in the Army, was injured when the Army tank in which he was riding caught fire. He escaped the burning tank, but returned to rescue a wounded soldier. The tank exploded, causing Boswell to be blinded. At 28 years of age, Charles knew his life would never be the same. Boswell was treated in a special hospital for people with eye injuries. Although his recovery was difficult, Boswell kept a yes I can attitude. The doctor in this special hospital had a plan to help their patients. They taught the patients to play sports. Charles remembered how much he enjoyed playing baseball and football and wanted to be an athlete again. After trying several sports, Charles discovered playing golf was easy for him. All right, so what's something important that we can pull out of that information? Nathan? Hold on. I gotta wait for you till he stops moving his stuff so I can hear. Go ahead. All right, so he still played sports. Still played sports even though he was blind. Do you think the information of how he got blind is important?
Yes.
Yes, all right, so he was injured in a fire after he was going to save somebody that made him blind. You could just kind of paraphrase it. Doesn't have to be exactly what I wrote. As long as you know that that's where you found that information in this chunk. Put that book that's in your lap in your desk, please. Thank you. All right, so we're ready to move on. Let's go to the next chunk. What?
Nowhere on here it says he's blind. That says
Yes, it does. It says the tank exploded, causing Boswell to be blinded.
no, like in our information thing. Yeah, it does. It says he was in the chain.
He was injured in a fire, which made him blind. All right. Next chunk. Charles set a goal to become a professional golfer. Like other golfers, he used a caddy. Charles' caddy gave him advice about how to play the course. First, he placed Charles in the correct position to hit the ball. Then, he described the distance to the green and to the fairway. This guidance allowed Charles to know how hard to swing the golf club in order to hit the ball to the green. Once the ball was close enough to the hole on the green, Charles prepared to putt. He used his golf club to measure and to feel the path from his ball to the hole. Ready to make the putt, Charles hit the ball. He enjoyed improving his game by practicing every day. Boswell won 16 nationals and 11 international professional golf tournaments for the blind. Golf was challenging, but he never gave up. His willpower to excel in spite of his hardship made him a true champion on and off the golf course. All right, so what's some important information we can pull out of there?
He won 16 nationals and 11 internationals.
Okay, so he got awards. All right, what else? Awards. Do you remember there being a question about caddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we should say the caddy helped him hit the ball, helped line him up. Anything else in that chunk that we think is super important?
He learned how to golf.
Yeah. I think he already knew how to golf. He just had to learn how to do it blind. Yes, sir, Nathan?
He became a professional golfer.
Yes, he's a professional golfer, so he got some awards. He was a pro. Just say pro. I don't think so either. All right, next chunk. Many people were inspired by Boswell. When people saw a blind person win a game of golf, they felt they could do anything. Bob Hope was a popular actor during Boswell's lifetime. Hope once said, "Charles Boswell is an American inspiration." Boswell enjoyed helping others who shared his disability. He often talked to people who had lost their sight, even though these conversations made his heart feel heavy. He raised money to build a hospital for the blind. Boswell's advice and financial support helped many blind people overcome their challenges. Charles Boswell was proud of the success he achieved away from the golf course. He and his wife Kitty had a family of 3 children. For 40 years, Charles was the owner and president of an insurance company. He wrote a book titled Now I See. Boswell also received many awards and honors for his accomplishment. All right, so what important information could we pull out of here? Charles.
He, for 40 years, he was the owner and president of an insurance company.
All right, so he wasn't just a golfer. He had another job. He was owner of insurance of a company.
Some people just put COM, right?
What? CEO?
No, COM for company.
Yeah, you can put COM for company. All right, Amari, what you got?
Many people were inspired by him.
Many people were inspired by him. All right, anything else? Chris?
He helped the blind. He made a hospital for the blind.
Okay, he was charitable. He raised money for a hospital for the blind. Okay, go ahead.
He wasn't deaf, blind anymore?
No, he was still blind. Once you pretty much go blind, you're blind.
It's just he made it because some people are blind temporarily.
P-O-I. Yes, sir, Amari.
I watched something on YouTube. I don't know how, but somebody went unblind because they got blind by fireworks because they were opposed to it. But then the doctors put something in his head for him to be unblind. But then he crashed into a window, which somehow made him blind again, and then he was blind forever.
Oh, man.
So I think that's where he was fake because there's no way he was probably blind already, but there's no way that he got unblind.
Gotcha. All right, let's read the last chunk. Challenges are present in all of our lives. How we handle these challenges determine whether we view life as a struggle or as an adventure. Charles Boswell saw life as an adventure. His words, "Yes, I can," represent a daily attitude of commitment and dedication. All right, what's some important things we see in there?
His phrase, "Yes, I can."
All right, so his "Yes, I can" attitude. Okay, what else we got, Nathan? You had your hand raised, so that's why I called you. A-T-T-I-T-U-D-E. A-T-T-I-T-U-D-E. Attitude. What about viewing life as a adventure or a challenge? Our view in life matters. All right, so now we've done the R, the U, and the N. So now we need to go to the S. S means to do what? Search entire passage for each question / answer and underline where you found the answer for text evidence. All right. Yes, sir. It says our view in life matters. All right, so let's go to number 1. It says, based on the passage, what can the reader infer about Charles Boswell? Boswell wants to receive national and international fame. Boswell is determined to succeed in all areas of his life. Boswell wants to be recognized for his heroic effort. Boswell is motivated to win many golf tournaments. So which ones can we eliminate? All right, so was he just really focused on just having his fame with golf? No. So we can eliminate that one. Because he did more than just that. We said he won awards. He was a owner of a company. And yes, he played golf. All right? What's another one? C? Why? Tell me why. Why do you think?
Because I think he said that he wants to succeed, right? And he wants it to be an adventure.
He wants it to be an adventure. He's not focused on, he wants, look at my heroic act of how I got blind. He's not sitting here saying, oh man, now I'm blind. I can't do anything else with my life. So that leaves A and B. It says Boswell wants to receive national and international fame. Boswell is determined to succeed in all of his life. So which one can we infer based on the passage? B. Very good. See how all this pulling out important information? Now I don't have to go back into the passage and be like, oh, I got to reread the whole passage. No, I can look and say, oh, okay, well, it talked about him being an owner of a company. He won some things with golf. He became blind because of an accident. This is just all information we pulled out. So you don't have to reread everything. Now, is this a right there question? Am I going to find this in the passage? No, this is what I infer from the passage. Okay? When I infer something, I'm making an educated guess, or what I'm a proven guess of what I think it is. It's not going to be a right there question. All right. Number 2 says, which conclusion about the doctor's plans for wounded soldiers is supported by the passage? Okay, let's read all the choices and then let's go back in the passage and find where it talked about the doctor for the wounded soldiers. It says, learning a sport gives patients the opportunity to earn money. Learning a sport helps patients regain confidence in themselves. Learning a sport shows patients the importance of serving others. Learning a sport ensures that patients will heal from their injury. So let's go back and let's find where is it, on which page, the first one or the second one, does it talk about the doctors for the soldiers? On the first page, is it the first chunk or the second chunk? Second chunk. As we already know right here, he still played sports because he was blind. So now we can go in and we can find just in that chunk which sentence in that chunk talks about the doctor's plans for patients. Which paragraph am I looking at under the chunk?
The second one.
The second paragraph, which sentence?
The hospital had a plan to help their patients. They taught the patients play sports. It doesn't say why.
Okay, the doctor in this special hospital had a plan to help their patients. They taught the patients to play sports. All right, so now, but remember, our question is not a right there question. We have to see what is supported by the passage. What conclusion can we make from the doctors wanting the people to play sports? Okay, so learning in sports give patients the opportunity to earn money? No. Learning a sport helps patients regain confidence in themselves?
Yes.
Maybe. All right, learning a sport shows patients the importance of serving others? No, because are they playing sports to serve others? No, they're playing sports for themselves. Learning a sport ensures that a patient will heal from their injury? No, because is just playing a sport going to make them 100% heal from their injury? No, because Charles Boswell was blind and he did not regain his sight. So the answer is B. Sit up, Jaden. Stand up. All right, number 3. Says use the dictionary entry to answer the question that follows. Says dictionary entry: caddy, a small container used for holding tea, a rack for organizing items, an assistant who helps a golfer, an automobile. Says which definition of this word caddy is used in paragraph 6? All right, so we can go to paragraph 6. We know because we pulled out that information. We said a caddy does what? Helps a golfer. Right here. Like other golfers who use a caddy. Caddies give him advice about how to play the course. Alright, so the only definition right here that has anything to do with golf is what?
3.
Number 3. Very good. And I underlined in there, in where it said, like other golfers who used a caddy, Charles's caddy gave him advice about how to play the course. That's my text evidence. All right, here we go. It says, what is the best summary of this passage? So what's a summary?
Like tiny. You're taking a part of the story and putting it to something small.
Right, you're taking the whole story, putting it in your own words, or making it a small. If somebody walked in and said, "Hey, what's this story about?" You'll be able to tell them in just a couple sentences what it's about. It's about a guy that got injured, a soldier that got injured and lost his sight. Then he started playing golf and won awards. Then he was an owner of a company and he raised money for to build other hospitals for the blind. So all of that we got from the passage. That was my summary of it. So now let's check and see which one would be the best summary of the passage. Okay? Charles Boswell was born in 1916. He became a professional baseball player in 1941. Charles was blinded by an army tank. He learned to play golf and won many tournaments. Charles was a president of a company. Hold on, let's read through all of them first and then we'll decide. Charles Boswell enjoyed playing sports as a child. He played professional football and baseball in college. Charles was blinded while he was in college. He owned an insurance company. Charles helped other people. Charles Boswell enjoyed playing sports as a child. He joined the Army in 1941. Charles was blinded during an explosion. He became a professional golfer and won 27 tournaments. Charles stopped playing golf because he grew discouraged. Charles was born in 1916. He became a star football and baseball player in high school and college. After college, Charles enlisted in the Army. He was blinded in an accident. Charles overcame many hardships and became a professional golfer. All right, so which ones can we know we can eliminate? B, he enjoyed playing sports as a child. He played professional football and baseball in college. Charles was blinded while he was in college. That is not right. All right, is there another one we could possibly? C, because did he grow discouraged? No, because he had what kind of attitude? The yes I can attitude. Stand up. Stand up. Do I need to call Mom?
I'm tired.
I am too, baby. There are other people that are tired as well. You need to stand up, please. Stand up if it'll help you stay awake. All right, so that leaves A and D. Says Charles was born in 1960. He was a professional baseball player in 1941. Charles was blinded by an army tank. He learned to play golf and won many tournaments. Charles was a president of a company. Well, let's look.
Me and
What?
Kalani are both tired.
But Kalani is staying awake and doing her work. Kamani is staying awake.
Oh, I meant to say Kamani.
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's but they're doing their work. So, was he a professional at baseball? No. He played it in college and high school, but he was not a professional at it. He was a professional in what? Golf. So it cannot be A. So the only choice it can be is D. See how we had to eliminate what we knew and did not know.
And they asked him if he wanted to be a professional, but
He went into the Army instead. That's right. All right, what is the most important idea the reader can learn from Charles Boswell's life? A, never give up. B, live in the present. C, honesty is the best policy. D, playing sports helps you succeed in life.
What time are we going to the
never give up.
bathroom?
Never give up. Never give up.
At 9:20. Sorry. I'm teaching a lesson here, bud. All right, so which one can we eliminate?
Can I go to the bathroom?
You were just there. No. You can go at 9:20 when we go. D, playing sports helps you succeed in life. There are other people that succeed in life that do not play professional sports.
Like me.
That's right. You're succeeding in life every day. You come here and work hard. All right. What about
You can eliminate C
eliminate C? Why?
because he didn't talk about honesty.
He wasn't really talking about honesty. The whole passage was about what? The yes I can attitude, which means what?
Never give up.
Never give up. That's right. Never give up. All right, number 6. What is the meaning of this sentence from paragraph 9? He often talked to people who had lost their sight, even though these conversations made his heart feel heavy. What is the meaning of the sentence? A, Charles was inspired to help those who lost their sight. B, Charles was worried to hear about the blind people wanted to give up. C, Charles was frightened when he learned how others had become blinded. D, Charles was saddened by the hardship others who shared his disability. It says, what is the meaning of the sentence from paragraph 9? And they have the sentence. So do we need to go back to paragraph 9? We just look at the sentence that they provided us. So, he often talked to people who had lost their sights, even though these conversations made his heart feel heavy. So Charles was inspired to help those who had lost their sight. Charles was worried to hear that the blind people wanted to give up. Does it say anything about them wanting to give up? No. Charles was frightened when he learned how others had become blinded. Charles was saddened by the hardship of others who shared his disability. Yes, so when it says his heart felt heavy, that's the same thing as saddened. If your heart's heavy, you're sad. So the answer is D. Number 7, are you still with me? Amari, if you need to stand up so you can stay awake, please do. Which sentence does not provide evidence that Boswell cared for others? Which sentence does not provide evidence that Boswell cared for others? He escaped the burning tank but returned to rescue a wounded soldier. Hope once said Charles is an American inspiration. He raised money to build a hospital for the blind. Boswell's advice and financial support helped many blind people overcome their challenges. It says, which sentence does not provide evidence that Boswell cared for others?
Oh, A. Take away A. Because it says he escaped the burning tank but returned to rescue.
But does that show that he cared for others? Yes, that means he did care for others. Okay, cross A out. All right, what's another one that we know that shows that he cared for others? D. Boswell's advice and financial support helped many blind people overcome their challenges. Yeah.
He raised money to build a hospital
For the blind. So that again is helping other people. So the only answer it could be just okay. So the reason that it is B is because that's not saying exactly what he did To be an inspiration. Amari, stand up.
It's just saying that he is an insurance.
Amari, stand up. It's just saying he is an inspiration. But they're saying which one does not show that he cared for others. Not that he's an inspiration. All of these show that he is an inspiration, but which one does not show that he cared for others? All right. Number 8. It says, in the sentence from the first paragraph, what does the word challenges mean? We all face challenges in life. Calls, difficulties, orders, requests. Difficulties. Yep. Because we know that the whole passage is about overcoming things, and if it's a challenge, then it's got to be something that's difficult.
We have 2, 3 more.
Yep. It says, based on the passage, which 2 statements describe why Boswell encouraged blind people? Based on the passage. He wanted blind people to know how to play a sport. He wanted blind people to know it was important to serve in the army. He wanted blind people to know blindness would not limit success in life. He wanted blind people to know playing golf could help them own businesses. He wanted blind people to know they could find happiness during difficult times. Now there's actually 2 for this. There's actually 2 answers.
Statement. It's C.
C and E. It's actually 2. Why they give you 2, I don't know. He wanted blind people to know that blindness would not limit their success in life. Being blind does not mean that life is over. And then he wanted blind people to know that they could find happiness during difficult times. They're kind of saying the same thing. You got it? Jaden, turn around, please. Turn around, please. All right, number 10. What do photographs tell the reader about Charles Boswell? Boswell enjoyed being outside and he exhibited strength. Boswell was skilled at the game of golf and he liked to pose for pictures. Boswell focused on improving the golf skills. He was a happy person. Boswell was willing to accept help from others, and he portrayed a positive attitude. So we can go back and look at the pictures. Come on, E. Stand up if you need to, baby. All right, let's go back and look at the pictures just to kind of get an idea. We have, looks like Boswell playing golf.
Taking a peaceful picture.
I'm taking a peaceful picture, and then we have him with his caddy, the caddy lining him up. Okay, so now going back to my question. What do the photographs tell the reader about Charles Boswell? Boswell enjoyed being outside and he exhibited strength. I mean, maybe, but let's check out the other choices too. Boswell was skilled at the game of golf and he liked to pose for pictures. No, I mean maybe, but no.
Just smiling.
Boswell focused on improving his golf skills and he was a happy person.
Yeah.
Maybe. Boswell was willing to accept help from others and he portrayed a positive attitude.
Yes.
All right, which one do you think it is, C or D?
D.
Raise your hand if you think it's C. Don't raise your hand raise your hand if you think it's C. Raise 2 hands if you think it's D. Good job, guys. Good job. And then number 11. Why did the author choose the structure of chronology or chronological order to write the passage about Charles Boswell? to give a detailed description of how Boswell achieved goals, to show how the order of Boswell's life events impacted his success, to explain the difference in the lives of sighted people and Boswell, to demonstrate how Boswell's service to others led to a successful life. If you think it's A, put a 1 up. If you think it's B, put a 2 up. If you think it's C, put a 3 up. If you think it's D, put a 4 up. Why did the author choose the structure of chronology, or doing something in order, to write the passage about Charles Boswell? 1 is A, 2 is B, 3 is C, 4 is D. Be your own person, make your own choice. Amari, stand up, buddy. Stand up. The answer is B, to show how the order of Boswell's life events impacted his success. So the fact that the passage was in order, chronology, is showing his life from how he grew up. He was born. He played sports in high school and college. He went to the army, became blind. Then he went to this hospital that helped him be introduced to golf. Then he became a professional golfer. And then he owned a insurance company, and then he wrote a book. All of this was in order from the beginning to the end. Alex, you will be kicked off if you do not know how to behave. So, you may put this away. You're going to need your reading book in just a minute, but not yet. I'm going to bring up the first video, the animal senses video. So when we're going to have a test here in just a few. And then we're going to listen to the story that is the second story that is, there's animal senses and blind ambition. So we're going to watch the video and then listen to the story, and then we will have a test. Yes, sir. Yes. Hold on. We're going to go in 20 minutes because I told him that he couldn't go. You have an emergency? Okay. One second. For those that are at home. All right, we're going to watch this video. And then we will listen to the story and follow along in our book, and then we will do our test.
Can we turn the lights out?
want the closed caption?
He said no, he didn't interpret this closed caption.
Excellent, that's right. We've got the senses because, like our friends and fellow primates, we possess them ourselves. Are senses important? Oh, yes. But many of us often think of senses too simplistically, as merely the ways and means to enjoy life thoroughly.
Ooh, I like the baby colors.
Without giving it a second thought, we relish the sight of a prospective mate showing off his or her best qualities. We all enjoy hearing the sound of a good singing voice, or hearing the familiar sound of a friend calling our name. Who doesn't savor the delicious smell of a favorite food? Or, when we too were infants, the sweet scent of mother's milk. And taste? That's got to be a favorite sense of everybody's. It's one thing to smell that yummy morsel, but another to chew it. Then to savor it on our taste buds before swallowing. And touch? Who doesn't like the comforting touch of a friend or family member? In the animal world, the senses are far more than just a means to enhance pleasurable experiences. It's through the senses that animals survive. There are two main strategies of staying alive. Does anybody know what they are? Find food, avoid enemies. Find food and avoid enemies. Got it now? After those two essentials have been attended to, well, there's time for having a family. Exploring the world. And playing with friends. Or just thinking deeply about the complexity of the universe. In regards to the senses, nature is the great compensator. Depending on where an animal lives and what it eats. Take, for example, this magnificent black rhino. He has very poor eyesight. Does that put him at risk for predators? Heck no. Just look at it. He has no natural enemies except, unfortunately, man. The rhino is an herbivore, or plant eater. So he doesn't have to have good eyesight to hunt prey. He just sniffs out his meals. Rhinos also have terrific hearing. Take a look at those ever-alert ears. In fact, knowing which sense or senses in an animal are the strongest or the most highly developed will tell you a great deal about how the animal lives and survives. Take a look at this rabbit. And this reindeer. And this horse. Notice any similarities? Animals that are preyed upon have eyes placed laterally in their skulls. So they can see almost 360 degrees without moving their heads. Prey animals, or those animals high on a predator's meal ticket, don't have very strong binocular vision, so they don't have very good depth perception. But they don't need it. Their eyes are designed to notice movement anywhere around them, so that they can flee at the slightest hint that there might be a predator lurking nearby. Predators, like these big cats, have more forward-facing eyes, which gives them the ability to pick out the details in a landscape. A useful feature when stalking and chasing prey. So, between prey and predator, who has the distinct advantage in terms of the sense of sight? the slam dunk winner in the best eyesight contest is the predator. Birds of prey, to be precise.
All right, now you need to open up your book to page 132. Open up your book to page 132, please. Yes, please. 132.
No, other book. Oh, yes.
Your reading book.
Oops, sorry.
No worries.
That might yellow.
All right, Blind Ambition by Matthew Cooper as told to Rachel B. and photographed by Karen A.
Didn't we read this twice already?
Nope, we only read it once.
Once and a half.
All right. Back to them.
So, a blind guy and his guide dog walk into a store. The guy starts swinging the dog around his head. The cashier goes, can I help you? The blind guy says, nah, I'm just looking around. When I tell that joke, sometimes people are a little shocked. I think maybe they think that a blind person like me shouldn't be telling jokes like that. But I'll tell you
Good
what,
job, buddy.
if you can't laugh at yourself, if you can't show that you've accepted what you've been given, then there's no way you can live your life.
Is that my book?
Now, of course, I would never swing my guide dog, Twyla, around my head.
No, this
I mean,
book.
that's just a joke. Especially since guide dogs really don't see for their owners like that. But Twyla does help me more than you can imagine. She helps me cross the street and yanks me back if a car is coming. She gets me around obstacles in the sidewalk and through crowded school hallways. She allows me to go anywhere and do anything I want. She's my companion, my friend, someone to talk to when I get really fed up. Basically,
You should be open to page
we're partners.
134, please.
Accept it. If you have accepted a situation, you understand that it can't be changed. Obstacles. Obstacles are objects that make it hard to get where you want to go.
I don't have no.
Twyla helps me fit in at school.
Where's your reading book at? Is it in your book bag? You didn't take it home. It's in your.
It's okay, I'm gonna just watch, I'm gonna read.
But you're gonna need it for your test, so you need to find it.
My personal superhero. I don't remember a time when I could see. When I was 3, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor that pressed against my optic nerve, and I gradually lost my sight. At first, I walked with a cane. Canes can be awkward. I got my first guide dog when I was 11, and about a year and a half ago, I got Twyla. A lot of people think that when Twyla sees a green light, she knows that it's time to cross the street. But that's not how it works. It's all on my command. So, when we get to a street corner, I have to listen for cars, then tell her to cross the street. Or if there's a bike in the sidewalk, it's not the dog's job to move it. Her job is to figure out a way around the bike. Is it nerve-wracking to walk down a sidewalk and wonder if I'm going to fall into a big hole? Not at all. I have to trust the dog. If you start denying what the dog is telling you, she's going to get nervous and lose all her training. I have to trust her. Twyla and I are a team. She knows my schedule at school and just takes me to class.
It's like money.
If I need to go someplace she's not expecting, I give her directions. The idea is that if I've said, right, and we're not quite to the hallway, she thinks, okay, I'll turn right at the hallway that's coming up, instead of running me into some lockers. Sometimes Twyla takes a nap when I'm in class. Command.
Is this
If
coat
you do
here?
something on command, you do it because you were told to.
Parent teacher, is she
Deny.
here today?
Denying something means not believing that it's true. Twyla does have her moments. Sometimes she snores in class, which cracks everyone up. Although once a teacher thought it was a student. And one time some cleaning solution made the classroom floor a little slick. And Twyla hit it like Bambi on the ice, sliding all over. She still tiptoes in that classroom. On my own. Twyla can't do everything for me, and it's important that I fit in with everybody, to not be known as that blind kid. I am Matthew Cooper. That is who I am. To fit in, I know that I have to adapt. So if I want to play paintball with my friends, I make them wear buzzers so I know where they are. When I wanted to run the sound system for my school plays, I put Braille labels on all the controls. I read in Braille, which is a combination of raised dots that represent letters. My favorite thing to do is play golf. The idea is that my coach or my dad will position my club behind the ball and tell me how far away the hole is. Then I swing. Trying something you've never done before definitely can be scary. But that's true whether you're blind or sighted. My thinking is, you can't say no until you try. There's always a way to do whatever it is that you want to do.
You need to cut your hair.
Adapt. If
You
you
need to
adapt to
focus on this
something,
reading
you
story.
figure out how to deal with it. The red binders are printed in Braille. It takes all of those to equal one math book.
You couldn't have thought it was below your waist.
If you see someone with a guide dog, if the dog
I didn't
has on
cut
a
it.
harness, like the
I
one
didn't cut it.
Twyla is wearing, that means the dog is working. So treat it like anyone who has a job to do, with respect.
Before it was way down to your
Don't
waist.
pet the dog
It
unless
is,
the
it's
owner
just
says
it's all
it's okay.
bunched up.
Be cool. Don't
Now
bark
focus
at
on the
or tease
reading.
the dog or try to distract it. It's okay to ask a person with a dog if he needs help crossing the street. Just don't grab his arm and drag him across. Never feed the dog.
7 minutes.
Twyla came to me through Guide Dogs for the Blind, which trains dogs to help people like me. Unfortunately,
Well,
the
you should
dogs
be
aren't
following
trained to
along in
play
your
golf.
book. Okay, so you don't need a C up here. What'd you say? Did you ask if you could move up so you can see? No, because you're following along in your book. Okay, bud? Thank you.
My best friend. Now, I accept that I can't do everything on my own, even with Twyla's help. I have to be okay with asking people to help me cross busy streets. Other times, I need someone to read me something because it's not in Braille. It can be hard to ask for help, but if I don't, I can't live my life. When things do get too hard, like when I want to go to the golf course but there's no one to drive me, or when some kid says, catch, then throws something at my head, that's when Twyla steps in to comfort me. I just pet her and talk to her. She's that friend that's always there, and she reminds me that, yeah, things are hard sometimes, but they'll get better. I just look at it this way. There's always something life takes from you, and something life gives back. Like, I think being blind makes me a better golfer. Sighted golfers will lift their heads to watch their shot, and that messes with their swing. But I can't see the ball, so I don't do that. I may never compete against a pro golfer. Then again, it could happen. I just make him wear a blindfold. Comfort. If you comfort someone, you say or do things to make the person feel better. To help me play golf, my dad or coach places the club behind the ball. Then they tell me which way to swing.
All right. we're gonna stop right there. We do not actually have time to do our test today. It will be on Google Classroom for you to do tomorrow. And the vocabulary will be on for you to do tomorrow. So it's due tomorrow. Okay, so you're gonna go on to Google Classroom. It'll tell you to go to HMH, and then you'll go to, you'll see the 2 stories, Animal Senses and Blind Ambition, and then you'll go back and do your vocabulary part. Okay, that's gonna be for tomorrow. Tomorrow being Wednesday. Okay, all right. So we're gonna go to the